Tonight on the Hair Band Basement.
What makes it sleaze metal? Kind of guys you don't want your daughter bringing to the next Christmas party you have at your house. More dangerous to themselves than anyone else.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
I told you. I haven't taken anything stronger than aspirin since I got out of rehab 2 years ago.
Is that what you were buying tonight, aspirin?
Meanwhile, you stay out of my face. Sit down! I'm not looking for any trouble.
Well, you found it.
And just living your life like on a roller coaster with like drugs and shit, and just where your life will go, nobody knows.
Stay in there, baby. Don't quit me now.
I take a deep breath, and I just go dick first into it.
Works for me.
Welcome to the Hair Band Basement. I'm your host, Basement Brian, and today I got a guest. It is Trevor from the Krash Kourse Metal Show, good buddy of mine. I've been on his show numerous times. Trevor, welcome to Basement, and tell the folks what you're all about here.
What's up, Brian? Thank you so much for bringing me on to the Hair Band Basement. It doesn't get much of a cooler basement than this, right?
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
So yeah, man. So basically, over on my side of things, Krash Kourse Metal Show, we talk about all things hair metal, all things metal, really. At the end of the day, but the home, the heart is always in the hair metal umbrella. So, but we always got things going on over there. But once again, my man, thank you for having me on. This is gonna be fun. We're talking about one of my wheelhouses here, sleaze metal. So
We'll get to that.
I'm quite excited that you brought me on for this.
Yeah, definitely. Who else would I have on for this? Let me go through my shit real quick. You can find me on X, on Twitter at HB Basement, and you can hear the Hairband Basement radio show every Friday night at 8:30 Eastern on the Stationhead app. Download it, check it out. Yeah, so like you hinted at, the topic is going to be our top sleaze songs. So it's going to be in conjunction. We'll do 5 here in the basement, another 5 on your show later on. And yeah, I mean, this is like a completely different, it's not really exactly your commercial poppy kind of metal. Let me ask you this question. What would you consider a band being sleaze metal? What makes it sleaze metal?
I think well, first we have to start with we just gotta start at the beginning here. So we have hair metal as the main umbrella of hair metal is the biggest umbrella. And underneath that umbrella is a lot of subdivisions of hair metal. You have like AOR, you have sleaze metal, you have biker metal, you have glam metal, just different things like that. And obviously we're going to be talking about sleaze metal. So we have sleaze metal it has to have a certain look, I think, as well. A look plays a big part in it. But I think also sonically and lyrically, there's a darker side of things. There's a more serious side of things. And when people say about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, that is the home of sleaze.
Yes,
that you can't define. Yeah. I don't think sleaze any much better than drugs. Being intoxicated. But I think those are two of the biggest things. But because like we mentioned earlier, it's like you're on the serious side of things, but other side of hair metal, though, you have the glam and stuff like the Here I Go Agains or the Bon Jovis of You Give Love a Bad Name.
Yeah.
You're not playing in that. Now, it does, like I said, it does have some fun elements to it. It's not all serious and doom and gloom all the time, like grunge, So it's a good mixture, I would even say, between what we would kind of see with like the alternative or grunge even to an extent, and then also to your glam side of things. It's a good in-between because you still have some fun with these albums and these bands, but it still holds true to hair metal, if you will.
Okay.
And I think those are kind of the biggest factors for classifying what is a sleaze band, the looks and the more serious, darker tone, if you will.
I would say definitely a look, because it's always like obviously the long hair, the ripped jeans, covered in tats,
leather,
probably track marks on your arms, leather. Yeah, you probably got some kind of scars in there for some drunken fight. Yeah, it's like it's the kind of guys you don't want your daughter bringing to the next Christmas party you have at your house. It's not really what. Hey, Dad, this is my new boyfriend, Jizzy Pearl. That's not gonna go over well. I also think there's a specific sound to it where you have this, like you said, it's a little heavier, but it's tough to put a finger on it. Where if you hear it, you kind of know it's Sleaze,
Right.
and it's tough to describe. It's like almost an intangible feel to it. Because again, these guys are shooting up behind dumpsters, and Poison would sing about nothing but a good time, but for these guys, it's become a heavy addiction problem. And it's
Exactly.
like, oh, Poison's having fun with strippers and, having a couple of drinks here and partying with cocaine. Well, your sleaze metal acts, it's not a good night unless someone's blackout drunk, get into a fight with four different people at the same time. They're waking up the next.
And stolen, fists of whiskey from the liquor store earlier that day.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, they're riding up a Harley with a stolen bottle of Jacks, running from the cops while they're high on fucking meth. It's all that shit
Well, and
put together.
that brings me to the point too. If you're listening to one of these albums or songs and you hear police sirens in them, that's a good indication that you're in the field. You're listening to the field of sleaze metal.
Yeah, either it's recorded or they're outside ready to arrest your bassist.
Yes. Yeah, and I will say, because a lot of people say dangerous, like some bands or songs just sound dangerous, or like musical genres sound dangerous. This would be the closest, because I don't usually use that term when describing some bands or songs or whatever, but this would be the closest that I would get to being saying, hey, this sounds dangerous.
Okay. I get you. Yeah, but I also think they're more dangerous to themselves than anyone else. And if you happen to be friends with them, they pull you in all the time.
Yes,
like you're sitting in jail with one of these guys going, dude, why the fuck did you punch that cop? Why did you do that? God,
exactly.
We were just here last night. What are you doing?
Like you said with Poison, that side of things, you're doing it. You're a weekend warrior, or you're just out having a good time on Saturday night. When you're on the sleaze metal side of things, this is like some Tuesday morning. You're doing all this. There are no rules. There are no boundaries. You're addicted.
Yeah, like Poison's throwing TVs out of a hotel window while these guys are throwing them at someone that's trying to get their drug money from them. It's trying to do some kind of escape trick. Just throw a TV and run. Huh. All right, so with that, let's hear your first song.
Okay, so we gotta start off with the bang, and one of the sleaze metal masterpieces, in my opinion, and that's going to be from 1990, Spread Eagle, and the song I'm going to choose is the intro track, "Broken City."
I knew you would.
Absolutely awesome, man.
Now that's sleazy.
These boys are from New York City, and you can tell there's a different edge to New York City sleaze. Like, sure, you have your LA sleaze, like Love Hate, and if you would throw in Faster Pussycat or whatever,
or even GNR, some people.
It sounds different than this, and then even to your Swedish sleaze, like Nasty Idols.
Oh yeah,
like it's closer to this. Swedish sleaze is closer to this, but New York City is different. And Broken City, man, like when that just slow riff comes in, that intro to the song, you're like, okay, this vibe just changed. I feel like I'm in the streets in New York City about to get sexually assaulted. I don't know, but something's gonna happen here at 2:00 in the morning.
Especially in like 89, 90, New York was not a safe place at 2 in the morning.
Well, it wasn't ever a safe place there, bro.
Briefly for 9/11.
So definitely, and this whole album encompasses that vibe and aura, and like I said, I don't use the term dangerous a lot describing a lot of these albums that we're talking about or anything, but this album, it has that dangerous factor to it. You're like, whoa, okay, like it grabs you and it keeps you the whole way through. So Broken City, that really, I think, lyrically, it really defines sleaze metal. I think.
Yeah, that's a great. I actually have a song by them too, but I knew you were gonna pick that one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't exactly the same song, but yeah, you're right. There is like this difference between the West Coast and the East Coast sleaze.
Hmm.
Part of me, I don't know if it's the right way to say it, but it almost seems like I don't want to say the ones from the West Coast were inauthentic, but it seems like it's an act to a point. I'm not gonna say of all the bands, but these guys, it's like, no, this is what we're living. This is how our lives are. It's no fucking
Yes.
around. This is real deal right here. Plus,
Yeah,
also another thing we didn't say about this when we were describing what sleaze metal is. A lot of these bands have some guy with raspy, powerful vocals that
right.
really give punch to these songs. And
Yes.
yeah, fucking Spread Eagle definitely has that. They totally have that. It's a great
Exactly. And
album too.
what other like hair metal band, other than Sleaze, outside of Sleaze, is going to talk about having rats in the kitchen, and that having holes in your pockets where your money used to be, and just getting
Yeah,
like fucked up, like all in one song. Like, yeah, it
that,
just
it's
a
hilarious.
great tune. And I want to say, I think for a lot of these albums, I think there's a production factor too, to the sound of Sleaze. Like, it's not overproduced, but it doesn't sound like shit though either.
Yeah,
Like
I get you.
it's nice in between where a lot of these do have a similar production, but I don't think that's a hindrance though either.
Hmm.
It feels authentic and raw, but not in the
Recording part.
yes, not in the Venom early Venom
Oh yeah,
rawness.
yeah, yeah,
Like shit
yeah.
like that. But yeah, it just feels very atmospheric at the same time. I don't know. You'll know once you start picking up enough of these albums, like they all kind of have that, that edge production to
Yeah.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, it's like oh so and so's coming. You're like oh shit, here we go. He's gonna get into a fight with someone, or he's gonna break something. The cops will be showing up. He shows up with a bottle of Jacks and an ankle bracelet. That's it's to make sure so they can track him down. Just in case.
Uh, but yeah, Bergen City. That's my first
I
choice.
had a feeling you were gonna have that one. That's a good tune too, though. It's a great album. I'll be coming back to that later on
Okay.
in my list. All right, my first one. This album I have been listening to a lot recently. Came out in '93. I didn't know about it at the time. Found out about it a few years back. And especially this song, probably my favorite off the album. It is Stiletto Strut by Alleycat Scratch from their Dead Boys and Trash City album.
Sleazy!
Mhm.
Oh my God, this tune is just epic. The way it builds with that grimy sounding twangy bass, the drums coming in, you just got the guitar building up and the and then it stops and they go, oh, what the hell is it? Oh, check this out, motherfuckers. And it
Mhm.
goes right into the song and it just kicks ass.
Check this out, motherfucker!
An unbelievably good song. I regret I didn't know about these guys sooner.
Yeah.
So goddamn good. And
Now,
I'm gonna let me go through some of the lyrics because I mean this kind of song sounds like the song you would start a show with. Lights go down, this thing kicks in, and it's a dirty, fucking disgusting dive bar. Everyone's there just for the cheap beer, the warm cheap beer, and 2 for 1 shot night on a Tuesday.
and the hookers out front.
Yeah, cheap hookers up front. And I always like the line. I'm gonna read the whole thing because it kind of builds up. Well, I see you standing there, but I don't care. Every time I look at you, I stop and stare, and this is where it gets really sleazy. I just want to just want to floss my teeth with your underwear. Like, shit, that doesn't get more sleazy than that. But yeah, fucking love this song. Great
Yeah.
tune.
I actually that was not that song, but Alley Cat Scratch was on my list. Take a bite out of me. I was gonna have that on my list, but I just switched it for the next song here right before we started. But man, but that's the weird thing too. You're in 1993, and I would even say like Sleaze was really picking up steam 1990, 1991. Like sure it had its origins and stuff beforehand,
But
but
you
I
had
think
some bands
really
that had pretty big hits before that.
Yeah, you
I
had like
mean,
L.A. Guns, you
LA
had
Guns,
N'
you want to
Roses.
qualify Faster Pussycat, House of Pain was pretty big. If you want to say Guns N' Roses, the Sleaze, all right, that would be the biggest one. But
Mhm.
other than that, it really wasn't this huge genre that just took over.
Right.
I think part of it is lyrically and visually, they weren't really radio or MTV friendly. What
Yeah, yeah.
you weren't going to see a 13-year-old girl putting posters up of these guys saying they're so dreamy.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I think like after like 1991 and after, you start turning around a little bit more, and a couple more keep popping up more so than pre 1991. That's the only thing
Yeah,
I would
you're
think.
right.
Like that's kind of like where I was going with that. But to your point of Alleycat Scratch, I kind of had them on the borderline of sleaze, but I will put them in the sleaze camp, obviously, because like where else you put them? Like you ain't gonna put them in. I mean, I guess you could put them in goth metal. Like they had that look, and like because you had like bands like that in like 1992, 1993, 1994, like Crayola Kids. They had this
Mhm.
real punky and real makeup edge to them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and it wasn't necessarily the right look for sleaze, but it kind of Alley
yeah.
Cat Scratch had a correct like from their debut album. It doesn't get much sleazier looking than that though, too, just with makeup on.
Just the title, the Dead Boys in
Yeah,
Trash City. That's a
yeah, yep.
sleaze album title right
I
there.
agree. No, I agree. I would put Alleycat Scratch in the sleaze like that. I wouldn't argue at all with anyone that with that. But certainly, it's so weird because like that whole album does go on a roller coaster ride as far as lyrical content.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, like so like
yeah,
they are kind of like somewhat of a one of a kind as well. A one of a kind band. So it's like, where do you really put them? I would put them
yeah,
in sleeves,
yeah.
obviously, but it's just one of those question marks. But that's a great choice. I love Alley Cat Scratch. Whenever we get a chance to talk about them, I'm all for it.
Yeah, oh my God, I've been listening to that nonstop last couple of days. Such a great album.
Yeah, yep.
Such a great album. All right, your next one.
Okay, so this one
I'm gonna say
here,
this. Really didn't rank them. I was gonna say number four, but it's just really
yeah,
not
no, these are all
ranked in any
great in their
way.
own
Yeah, they're
right.
all great
Like,
tunes.
it was already hard enough coming down with 10, so I'm not
Yes,
gonna put them in any order. So.
exactly.
So this one here though, I never really hear anyone throw this band in the sleaze metal, but the more I listen to them, the more I'm like, this is the only place where you can really put them. Unless you consider like blues metal, then maybe. But that would be Every Mother's Nightmare, off their debut album.
Oh,
And I chose the song, the final track actually. Nobody Knows. It's just I love that riff at the beginning. It's just a gritty riff, and just obviously vocalist has that gritty sound to him.
yeah,
They had the attitude. The attitude. That's another big thing, obviously, with
yeah,
sleaze metal.
yeah.
That's rule number one. We kind of didn't mention that, but that kind of goes hand in hand with all the other factors that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
You're
fuck
fighting the
you.
system and there's no fucks given.
Yes, yeah,
Yep,
fuck
yep.
you. Yes, yep, yep. But Nobody Knows though is one that always stands out to me as just like an attitude, like and just living your life like on a roller coaster with like drugs and shit, and just where your life will go, nobody knows. That kind
Yeah.
of deal. Like that's just like awesome stuff. So like this was probably the most borderline one of my first five songs here. But
Hmm.
man, the more I listen, like I said, the more I listen to this album, I'm like, they have to, I think, go in sleaze. Like, where else would you really, other than maybe like a blues metal, like where else would you put them?
I was gonna say they're one of those bands that there's a few bands that came out in the 89, 90 to 91 range where they really didn't fit into any specific category.
Hmm.
And they kind of got shoehorned into whatever categories either the fans, record labels, or MTV wanted to put them in. And you're right. I mean, I never really thought of them as sleaze, but where else would you put them?
Yeah.
They were too
Now,
heavy to be like a pop metal or any kind of glam shit.
right, right.
But
And
it's
they had the
like
look. They had the
yeah,
stripped
it had
down
the
look.
look. Yep.
But now I would say this album is their sleaze output. Wake Up Screaming, I wouldn't necessarily say is a sleaze album though.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. I'm not
So to
sure if I
me,
put this as sleaze, but I'm not really going to argue saying it's not. I can see why you
yeah.
would say that.
Yeah, yep. Okay. So maybe that's kind of like a factor as why we don't really look at Every Mother's Nightmare. Because I actually visit Wake Up Screaming probably more than I do the debut here. So maybe that's kind of why like they always get overlooked in my head anyway as a sleaze band or
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, that's nobody knows. I think that's a you know deep cut that not a lot of people know about, and it's a great album closer as well.
Yeah.
And just a really really good album.
Yeah, that's one of those albums. I think I had it back in the day. I was like, it's okay, it's good. And then over time, you're just like, holy shit, this thing is way better than I gave it credit for 30 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm in the
God.
same boat.
Yeah, it's a really solid, it's a really good album. And you're right. It was like, where do you put these guys? Like, where do you put, what was the big hit off that one?
Love Can Make You
Love
Blind.
Can Make You Blind. And the
Walls Come Down.
Walls Come Down didn't they have a cover on it?
Yeah, it was Hank Williams.
Yeah.
Long Hair Country Boy.
Only a Country Boy, yeah. And it was like those few songs kind of, it barely scratched the surface of what the rest of that album is like.
Yeah.
Like maybe Hard to Hold. Was it Hard to Hold?
Yeah, Hard to Hold. Yeah, that's the first track.
Yeah.
Bad on Love. Bad on Love.
That's a good.
I was either going to choose Bad on Love or obviously Nobody Knows as one of my choices for this list. And I ended up going with the outro track. But
yeah, that's a really good album. Yeah.
It is.
That's a good pick. All right, my next one from a band you already mentioned, Spread Eagle. I went with the song right after the lead up, Back on the Bitch.
Oh, okay.
Oh, such a good song. Probably my favorite off the album, easily.
Okay.
And it just hits you in the face with that opening guitar riff. It's just heavy and ballsy. And of course, the lyrics of Sleazy is all shit. Because I got Two-Faced Witch, Keep Me Up All Night, Another Shot at the Crack of Daylight. That doesn't sum up what a what a goddamn sleaze act is. I don't know what does. And I always like the line, different mood for a different day. So fucking killer. But that whole song is just right in your face. It's got heavy riffs. It's got peaks and valleys that sound just fucking great. And yeah, it's such a killer tune. And like you said, the attitude of the band it just pours off this album. So goddamn good.
Honestly, Brian, throw a dart at this album and any one of their songs could be on our list.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, come on. Even when I just did a recent review of this album, Spread Eagle's debut, and I went as far as to say, you know how, like, Rain and Blood is, like, the epitome of what thrash metal? Like, everyone puts that up as the biggest thrash, like, the most well-known and, like, what defines thrash metal.
Uh-huh, okay.
I'm throwing this up there in that ring for sleaze metal. Like, when you think of sleaze metal, you think of, like, in my opinion, you think this encompasses what sleaze metal is all about. So that's kind of where, like, how much I think this album is important to sleaze metal. It wasn't the first album, like the pioneering album, but neither was Rain and Blood either for thrash metal, you know? So I kind of give it in, this album has that much weight to it as far as the subdivision for their respective genres. So
yeah, that'd be tough little competition up against that album for that top spot. See, I didn't really know about that. I knew of it. I didn't have it when it came out in '90. And I remember it might have been a good 10 years later, I heard Switchblade Serenade. I'm like, that's a pretty killer tune.
Oh, yeah.
Still never got the album. And then it was more recently, I finally listened. I'm like, holy shit, why have this been in my life all this time? You're right. Every song is just fucking killer. Such a good album. You're right. It's tough to put someone up against it saying what would be the best representative of the genre. I think that's
from top to bottom.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I thought you would have the one you picked, Broken City. I thought it'd be either that, which you had, or Hot Sex. I thought it would be one of those.
Obviously that would have been one of them as well. That was in the running, you know. But it's such a great song, and you know, because even the Spread Eagle guys, when I was like, you guys gotta do Hot Sex tonight, right? In your set. And they were like, nah, we don't really do that song anymore. We kind of think it's a little cheesy. I said, hold up. That's like one of your best songs. Like I had to give him my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, right.
But I'm
wait a minute. Let me tell you what your best song is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a great song as well. A great honorable mention, Hot Sex. But I get it why people why they don't really want to sing that anymore. I get that, but God damn it. That doesn't mean it's not a great song.
Yeah. All right, your next one, number 3, if that's what we're doing.
Yes.
We're ranking these.
I'm going to be going to your neck of the woods here, Brian, and we're going to be talking about love-hate.
Ooh, very sleazy.
And
Nice.
Let's Rumble.
Oh,
That's
I
the
knew
song.
it was gonna be okay.
That's the song.
Oh, nice.
Now, I thought about doing Blackout in the Red Room because that is like, how else can you explain Sleaze Metal than Blackout in the Red Room? Like,
yeah.
just, but like as a personal favorite of mine, I like Blackout in the Red Room is probably like a top 3 love hate song for me. But like Let's Rumble though, ever since I came across this 10 years ago or whatever, Let's Rumble, the track, I'm like, holy shit, Love Hate outdid themselves. Like with just an
Yeah.
anthem type song, like just absolutely great stuff. But I don't know how else any Love Hate song. And now they're not my favorite Sleaze band, but you cannot deny that they are Sleaze and they are some of the epitome of Sleaze. Like I
Yeah.
am not taking anything away from that, but it's just one that I just don't get to a band that I just don't get to that much because of the more of the punk element to them.
hmm
But as far as like attitude and like all the other factors, oh yeah, look the fuck out, guys. Love Hate is one of the bands that right up there with Spread Eagle that does uh personify Sleaze.
And yeah, and you're right. They had not the punk. Also, they only had not only the punk element. They had metal and funk mixed in all together. I
Mm-hmm.
think it worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
But it also put them in one of that where do we how do we categorize
Yes.
this band kind of situation where it's like it's got all these different elements, and but you're right, it is 100% sleaze. I always said this, like Poison's backstage banging strippers while these guys are shooting up behind the dumpster in the parking lot with runaway teens. It was
Uh-huh.
they
Yep.
really, and I'm gonna they'll come up with my list, spoiler alert, but they really told you in their songs how messed up and sleazy the underbelly of the LA scene really was.
Right.
And you listen to those that their debut is great. The follow up is great. I'm shocked you picked Let's Rumble. That's a really solid album as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, this is what it's like. It's messed up, it's screwed up, and this is what we lived every day in our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
But with Let's Rumble, they kind of went a little heavier and darker. There's less like punk and funk elements in it,
Yeah, more on the heavy
which
metal side.
yeah, and that's why I like the first two a little bit better, but that is a solid album. You're right. That
Mm-hmm.
fucking lead off track is killer. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Was it
It,
Cleopatra? You want war? I'll bring the war to your front door.
it don't get much better than that lyric right
Yeah.
there. Like that's it just it gives you like motivation to run through the fucking wall when you hear
Yeah.
that. Just great. And to your point though too, like that is the lyric I was gonna choose as well in that song. Just great. It's just like I said, you run through the wall when you do it, or you're working out, or whatever the deal is, or you're pounding 24 cans in an hour.
Yes.
Like one or the other. You're doing it. Well, either way, nothing's impossible at this point. So that's why I chose Let's Rumble.
Because I remember when that came out, I was in college, and during the summer I worked for a tire shop, so I was changing tires, but I also delivered tires to whatever garage or mechanic, whatever the shit. And one of the stations that actually came in on the radio was a AM station. I think it was like Z Rock or something like that. And like, come fade in and out depending where you were on Long Island. But they played the leadoff single Spinning Wheel a lot.
Okay.
And that's a good tune too, if you really want to talk about sleaze lyrics. It's just like, yeah, we're hanging out with strippers, but it's demeaning to them, and it's the ones that are around during lunchtime. It's not the ones that are there on a Friday, Saturday night. No, the ones their hours from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's
Oh
what you're
yeah,
seeing these
the
strippers.
diehards.
Yeah, oh yeah. The construction workers that go there for lunch.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like this album didn't really get promoted either because they got
No.
dropped after their second album.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's why this album and the songs on the album and the album itself never really got much promotion, obviously, or just like a lot of people don't really know about it.
Yeah.
So, and I thought, you know what, whenever I get a chance to talk about stuff that not a lot of people know about, because I wasn't sure which way you would go here with Love Hate, so I took all the obvious kind of choices out for you. In my
Oh wow.
no,
Okay.
well, not obvious, like not like that, but like I kind of know where wheelhouse is for Love Hate, and I was like, okay, I'm just going here. I'm going to Let's Rumble.
Yeah. Another good one is Wrong Side of the Grape. I always like that one too.
Yeah, yep.
That's a really good one. All right, where
Good
we at here?
album. Good album.
It really is, and you're right. It didn't get much promotion. It doesn't. I don't even think it's on streaming. I know it's on Apple,
Probably not. Yeah.
which is just what label is that under?
RCA.
Is it
Yeah, RCA. Oh, RCA and BMG.
really? What were they on before that? Columbia?
I think so. Yeah, CBS Columbia or something.
Yeah, I think it might have been. Yeah, but that's a good pick. That might be one of my favorites off that album too. One of my favorites all time by them.
Yeah, I know you love Hate, so I had to throw it in here when coming on the Hairband Basement. I had to throw some Love Hate love in here.
There you go. All right, my next one, probably the most popular by this band, though it wasn't a huge hit by any means. And I love this album. Too bad it was the only real official one we got from them. But it's Come On by Salty Dog from their debut, Every Dog Has Its Day.
Very sleazy.
I mean, that bass intro, it just sounds grimy and dirty. I don't know how they managed to do that with a bass line. But and you start off with a sweet little baby, she's my hot dog bun. Fucking great. Oh, great start. But then it's got that same tone to it. And then at the end, you hear the drummer hit the hi-hat and it kicks up. Oh, just a great tune. I'm gonna leave your ass behind at the end. There's some anger and frustration in that voice. But yeah, this thing again really didn't do much. But if you hear anyone playing any kind of Salty Dog on a radio station, that's the song they always go to.
Yeah, it's a good album too. Like,
yeah, it
even
is.
Like the ballads on there are pretty good, and you don't really think of sleaze metal for ballads, but like there are good ones inside this subdivision here.
Yeah,
I dig them. And also too, they did a good cover of a Spoonful.
Yes, they did.
Wolf. Like that's a really good cover.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just it's like you could put them either in like a blues metal subdivision or sleaze. Like it's
yeah.
I think can we say too, like there's a big element of blues in sleaze more so than a lot of other subdivisions of hair metal?
Yes, but I think it's subtle as well.
Okay.
It's not Heartbreak Station, Cinderella blues thrown in your face kind of thing.
Okay.
But like the reason I got this album was for Lonesome Fool. That was their first single, and I saw it and I saw it on MTV, and that's got heavy blues sound to it, especially towards the end. And if you look at the video and for that, and even the content for it is almost the same as Tora Tora's Walking Shoes.
Yeah.
Has the same feel to it, the same kind of southern blues touch to it, mixed in with the metal. I always thought the rest of the album was a little more heavier and grimier than that song, but yeah, it's a solid album through and through.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's to another point. I actually forgot to put this band on my whole list here. I actually just picked up Johnny Krash. Their debut album. And two of those songs are straight blues songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I consider Johnny Krash as sleaze metal. But like, there's a big, once you get into the real deep cuts, like there's no apology for it. Like they are like straight blues stuff, songs.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a big element as to why I really love sleaze metal as well, is because of the big blues element.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be another factor as to what you would consider, sleaze metal.
But that's the thing too. You touched on the ballads. Yeah, all these bands have really good ballads as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's slightly different than the kind of lovey-dovey shit.
Yeah, they're not power ballads.
They're not power. They're not. They're not. And we were talking about Alleycat Scratch before. Roses on My Grave is an unbelievable song.
I agree.
Such a good ballad.
Very
but it's
good,
like, even there, it's not like, oh, I found this girl and I love her, and we're gonna be happy forever, and we're skipping through fields of flowers and walking barefoot in the beach. No, it's like, oh, I love this girl, but she died. She was a junkie and died of an overdose.
And her dad killed her. That, like something like that. Yeah.
Something crazy. She passed out in the highway and a truck ran her over.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's just I like that choice. So, not that Salty Dog wasn't on like I looked at them, but I was like, oh, there's some other better ones. But no, I do like that song and that whole album a lot, though, too.
Yeah.
Like, to me, you're not going to go wrong with any of these choices. So, Sacrifice Me, I think, is a really, really hidden gem off that album.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
Yeah.
All right,
Good
your
stuff.
next one.
All right. So, we are going to be going pre 1990 here. We are going to be going to 1988, and that is going to be No Easy Way Out. That's from Things You Never Done Before. Now, I
Nice.
100% consider Roxx Gang a pioneering sleaze band. I throw them right up there with Guns N' Roses as far as who pioneered this subdivision of hair metal. Uh, you know, because their demo, the one that came, most of the stuff, Eat 'Em and Smile, I believe, is the demo of this, and it has most of these songs on it. It was pretty much a done album, and that came out a year before. So you're in the Guns N' Roses territory of 1987.
Yeah.
As being the pioneer and what kind of really took off here as far as your stripped down stuff and sleaze metal and stuff. But man, I think Roxx Gang, they might have a little bit more makeup than your average sleaze band does. But man, like they are dirty as fuck. They're chain
Yeah.
smoking, motherfucking drinking,
Yeah.
like like they cover all the factors and all the they cover all the boxes for a sleaze band, and just the sound though too, and the lyrical content. Sure, you do have some like Need Your Sex or Scratch My Back as like
Yeah.
your more fun stuff, but you have your serious dark overtones all throughout this album. Ball and Chain, Live
That's a good
Fast,
one.
Die Young, Red Rose, like No Easy Way Out, obviously.
Yeah.
And No Easy Way Out I chose here for this list. But man, it's just a great song. Whenever that song just randomly comes on, I'm like, oh my God, how
Yeah.
wasn't this a hit? Like,
Yeah.
oh dear God. But no, it's a great album. I consider them 100% sleaze and a pioneering sleaze metal band. I know I get a lot of shit for saying that I would choose that album over Appetite for Destruction when saying what is sleaze or like my favorite sleaze albums
Uh-huh.
when I compare those two. But yeah, I no fucks given. Give me Roxx Gang over Guns N' Roses.
Wow. Wow. I totally forgot about them. I didn't think it. Great album. You're right. Great album. And how
Now,
that
would you say that they check all the boxes for sleaze metal?
they do. No, they do. I just didn't think of them as
Yeah,
sleaze. I don't know why. But yeah, they got it all there. And yeah, you're right. That song, how that wasn't a big hit. Mystery, one of the musical mysteries. But yeah, that is a fantastic album. That's a good choice. That is good. Yeah, what obviously you're putting your list together, you're thinking of bands and you're looking at albums and you're looking at songs. I completely just forgot about them altogether. And then you said that, I'm like, fuck yeah, they are sleaze and it's a goddamn good album.
Yeah,
But yeah, great pick.
And there's so many great choices too. So like when we had to come up with 10, I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I know.
This is gonna be hard here.
Because especially when we split it in half, now I'm like, shit, I got 13,
Yeah.
possibly 17. I really want to stretch this, and now I gotta cut it down to 5, and I gotta figure out which ones make the cut for your show. I was like, shit.
Yep.
All right, my next one. These guys had to be on the list. I couldn't keep them off. L.A. Guns. And I went with one off of Cocked and Loaded from '89. So it's my first one that's not in the '90s as well. And I went on, technically it's two songs, they're separate tracks, but they lead into each other. Letting Go / Slap in the Face.
Yep.
Sleazy.
What a way to start an album. Good God. And
agree.
I struggled with even picking something from this album. I was really leaning towards something from the debut. But I went with this. I think it's got a slightly better production on it, but this song in itself, I remember. First of all, I got this album on cassette 'cause I'm an old fuck, and I drove to the local record store with my friend. And as we're driving back, I had it sitting on the dashboard. It's in the bag, put in the dashboard. I didn't get to open it and put it in yet. And I made a turn onto a highway. We had the windows open. It slid off the dash and went out the window. And my friends crack up. I pull off, and go get that. It's just like, what? I'm like, get that. I paid $10
I'm not kidding.
for it.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, exactly. and I think it's still cracked. It's still got a little crack on it when it went out the window. But yeah, you pop this thing in, and this is what hits you first. Oh my God. I always like with the lines. We got the power. we got the moves, 14,000 kilowatts just to make you groove. In this line, it's just like smoke and lightning. Oh, fucking beautiful. Just great. And yeah, these guys are one of the top bands in Sleaze. They really
One of the
looked
bigger
the part.
bands.
Yeah, I know they
bigger
were one of the
bands.
really bigger bands. So yeah, obviously this thing went big because of Ballad of Jane, depending how you want to spell it. It was spelled differently for some reason. But the rest of that out, I almost went with Never Enough. That was one of
Yeah.
the singles as well. That's a really good song. But I want something that really catches the sleaziness to this. I almost went with Sleazy Come, Sleazy Go
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's in Easy Come, Sleazy because it's in the title. And
Right.
Malaria is another good one. I mean, there's so
Oh,
many
yeah.
good songs on this
I
album.
Want to Be Your Man.
That's a great one.
That made my honorable mentions. So,
I
yeah.
thought that was a bonus track.
It was on the
Yes.
CD, but
Yeah,
on
okay.
vinyl and cassette, I guess it wasn't on the
Yeah, I
album.
had it on cassette. What's the other one? 17 Crashes Go.
Yeah.
Riot on Sunset. That's a good one.
It's a great album. It's a
Yeah,
great
it
album.
really is. It really. So I had to pick something from these guys. Went up the lead track with this. Speaking of which, Jizzy Pearl sang with LA Guns in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a live acoustic album. And he does a really good job at it.
Okay.
Really good job. I would highly recommend checking that out. It's different, yeah, but
Yeah, okay.
it's done pretty cool. I think it's the sleaze act with another vocalist doing
Yeah,
it all
well, Jizzy was all
acoustically.
over the place. Rap,
Yes.
Quiet Riot now, like
Yep.
he's kind of like a jack of all. You wouldn't think a voice like that would be like a jack of all trades, but like
He
he
still
pulls it
has a
off.
good voice too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the latest his version of Love Hate, Punk Rock Fiesta.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Did you end up picking that up then?
I have it on iTunes, but
Okay, all right.
but still, it's a great album. I'm
Yeah.
listening on two things. Holy shit, these songs kick ass, and holy shit, his voice still sounds good.
It does.
If you watch like his YouTube channel, what the hell is it called? Jizzo TV or something like that.
Jizz Pearl TV or J Pearl TV or something.
It's something like that. But he has a few episodes saying what it's like being 60 in your 60s trying to sing like this and the stuff he goes through and what he has to do to maintain his voice and the regimen he's got to do and all the fucking exercise, all this shit. He's like, I got to do all this shit. Just like I can't stay up 3 a.m, take a flight, and then expect to sing the next night during a show.
Right,
It's like, yeah, dude, you're retirement age. What are you doing? But yeah, he still sounds good.
You'll have a sleep hangover, basically.
Yeah.
It's horrible, but yeah, I mean, he still sounds great, and that's a good choice though too. I will say too, Letting Go. Every time when I was a teenager, whenever you made burn CDs or whatever, like a mixtapes of your stuff, Letting Go was always the intro track to my mixtapes. Always. Like, that's a great intro track at like a minute 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
A great intro track. I love it. Yeah, great pick.
Because it also has that kind of fade with the explosion and it goes into slap in the face. It's like, how do you separate the two?
Nasty girl or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Yes, exactly. It's your sleaze. Yep. But that's the thing. If you have the album on shuffle or it comes up when you're shuffling random song and it just has that and then goes into something else, you're like, no.
It'd be like the Cat Bash for Bastard Pussycat.
Exactly.
Just like, what? Okay, all right, that's cool, whatever. Good stuff. All right.
Your last one.
Yeah, our final one here. I would go with let's see here. Let me do Shotgun Messiah with the song Red Hot. Red Hot. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I never considered them sleaze.
Well, let me
go ahead. Let
me say this. Let me just say this. This is their sleaze album. Okay? Like their debut album is more along the lines of dirty glam or, not as it's edgy, but it's not sleazy, And then obviously
really
the album after this from 93 is Violent New Breed. It is more industrial, not so sleazy. It does have edge to it,
but a different kind of edge.
Yes. And still good, but like this is where they put the sleaze shoe on, in my opinion. This is when you think of Shotgun Messiah. Are they sleaze? Yes. This album, yes. Okay. Like I said, like all the other stuff, or not, the other two albums, basically, not necessary. It's not this. But songs like, well, obviously Red Hot here I want to talk about.
That's a great tune.
Love it's just like sex, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah,
And
to lead off track.
and
There you
it
go.
has this like bass line and just this beat, just dirty, gritty, grimy,
Okay, yeah.
mid tempo. In the similar vein of like Broken City, like that kind of tempo, and sound and grittiness and stuff like that. And obviously, you know, Harry Cody with great guitar work all the way around. Great solo in this song as well. It's just I just think Red Hot when this song comes on, I take a deep breath and I just go dick first into it.
Yeah, it makes you feel red hot.
Yes, yes. It's just like, oh my god. Sometimes it has to get repeated. Like, it's so good. Like, but obviously, more people would probably choose like Heartbreak Boulevard as like their pick off this album as far as
Not
Sleaze
me.
goes.
No, man, I would definitely go red hot before that.
Okay, all
Or
right.
Nobody's Home is a great one.
Mhm. I mean, it's a great anti ballad here too. Living Without You.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think too, like Ride the Storm and like I Want to Know, like they are sleazier side of things. Like, but I think this album as a whole, though, it just has that production, has that aura, has that feel to what Sleaze was in 1991 as well.
Yeah.
Like this album's closer to Spread Eagle than it is, say, Flesh and Blood, Poison.
Easily.
So that's kind of where I'm at, or even like putting Whipped, like from Faster Pussycat. Like this is more sleazier than Faster Pussycat Whipped.
Overall, yes. Certain songs, maybe not so much.
Okay.
I think there's some song we talked about Whipped on your show. I think there's some songs on that really go back to their sleaze roots.
Mm-hmm.
Other stuff like Nonstop Train to Nowhere, that's not really sleazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Big Booty,
And Big Booty and
Big
Big Dictionary. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, these aren't sleazy.
But definitely though, Red Hot. I mean, if you want a good nasty time, put that song on.
Oh, it's a killer tune.
It is.
See, I would think that the debut was a little more sleazier because Zimmy Zam's
the voice.
The voice is this guy. And I like that album slightly more
I do
than
too.
Second Coming because of that.
I do too.
But
Yep.
Second Coming's a great album. On X, follow me on Twitter. Every week I post Kick-Ass Album of the Week, and I start my show off on station with a song from the Kick-Ass out. That's this week's Kick-Ass Album of the Week for me. That is a great album. There are so many good tunes on it.
You would get no argument from me if you want to put the first album on as Sleaze. No argument from me at all. But I just think there's more to this, to the aura. Like you're still having fun with the first album,
Yeah.
Like this time, like this, they moved out. They moved out and they're living on the street right now with this album.
What's the one song? Oh, now I don't care about nothing. What was the other single off that? When it was I don't care about nothing.
I don't
When
care
they talk about going
and,
to school.
Shout It Out.
Yeah, no, that's I don't care about nothing. When they're talking about teachers telling me their rules and all this, it's like, dude, all right, you're 17, you're mad at your fucking your math teacher, and you're right. Yeah, here now they got kicked out of the house, and now they're struggling to find food for the day as they're trying to become famous musicians.
And they got a bag full of Colt 45s.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of buying ramen noodles, you bought the cheapest 12-pack of beer.
But yeah, that's where I'm going with that. Red Hot as a really good sleaze song.
That's a great pick. That's a fantastic album. And another album I got back in the day, liked it, but I think over time I learned to appreciate that album even more. It's a fucking quality album.
Yep.
All right, my last one, a band you already talked about, Love Hate. I went for one off the debut, and there's so many goddamn songs off this album I could have gone with. I went with one that kind of lyrically, was what Sleaze is all about. And I went with One More Round.
Oh, okay.
And it starts off with Blackout Bill. He's my bud. He brings over Jack. If you got a friend named Blackout Bill, you've made some really poor life choices. And I was like this one. It's 1:30 stinking drunk, 50 cents in my pocket. It doesn't get more sleaze than that. And like we said before, this band is all about saying how, hey, look, on the surface, everyone's partying, looks glamorous, with partying with Crew and Poison and all these famous bands, but deep down, it's a real shitty, disgusting, shady, dangerous world.
Yeah.
And they just sang about it. Like, yeah, I'm hanging out with my friend Blackout Bill. Got no money in my pocket, but I'm drunk as fuck. Let's do this. Let's get into a fight with someone. That was the thing. Jizzy Pearl was notorious for getting drunk and fighting people.
Yeah.
He was constantly getting in trouble, just getting all mad. There's a video from when they were on Headbangers Ball.
Welcome back to the Headbangers Ball. I'm Ricky Rackman, and now we have as special guests here on Jennifer, and guys that are going to do something that hasn't been done on Jennifer yet. We have Jizzy and Skid from the band Love Hate. How you guys doing?
Great. And it was him. Was it the bassist Skid Rose was with him? Might have been the bassist. And before they went on, Ricky Rockin said, I never thought you guys were any good. But your song, Why Do You Think They Call It Dope? That's a pretty decent song. And when he, walked away from makeup, whatever, we'll be on in 5 minutes. And Jizzy Pro was saying, I was fucking pissed when he said that. I want to punch him on TV. And I think it was the bassist. Skid was like, don't do this, man. This is our chance to finally go somewhere with this. We got signed. We're on Headbangers Ball as a guest. They're going to play our song. Hold back and don't punch the host in the face. And he said, you watch that video, the clip, you can see he's kind of pissed.
For yet, we have Jizzy and Skid from the band Love Hate. How you guys doing? Great.
Yeah.
And looking at him like, you motherfucker, once we step out, I'm going to punch you so hard in the face. I'm going to hit the back of your head. Like, he's just so mad at this. But yeah, there's your Sleaze right there. Just say, no impulse control.
Yeah, a ticking time bomb with a lot of these bands. And that's the thing, like, Love Hate did have the talent to go far and shit like that. But like when you're constantly like dealing with stuff or doing stuff like that, like, you kind of understand why no one really took the chance to really promote them then and, like really push them,
Yeah. But I also think a big part of it's the lyrical content and what these bands were about. I think that's a big thing. I mean, you look at, LA Guns, the biggest hit was a Love You ballad. And after that, nothing came really close, And
it's amazing because after Love Hate, like 1992, just even 5 to 7 years later, you got Kid Rock, you got Limp Bizkit, and like Slipknot saying all these like profanity and like all these like rated R X stuff, and just like 5 years difference. Like, oh, but that's being pushed in the mainstream and going diamond. Albums going diamond, and you got Love Hate over here. Okay, we were just 5 years too early.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because like a Love Hate or a Bang Tango, if they came out a few years later, I think they would have done better. Which is odd to say for a quote unquote hair metal band, but they were put under that label, but didn't really fit under any label.
Yeah.
And if it was so different than what was going on, I think they would have had a little more success later on in the 90s than they did in 1990, 89, 90.
Yeah, and that goes to my theory too of I think sleaze metal could have easily taken the reins from the big acts of hair metal going into the early 90s through the mid 90s and such if the record label just didn't go dick first in the grunge, and just put all their money behind that, because you had that shift in seriousness. You had the same dark overtones, but you still had your fun, you still had your talent, and
that's a big part.
But like then to the end of the 90s, you had, like I said, you had the new metal, which were talking about all of this very depressive, very serious X-rated type stuff.
Yeah.
That Sleaze was just beginning to talk about that kind of stuff. It was just a little too early, but I think if they would have had their natural room to progress sleaze metal from early to mid 90s, I think they would have been maybe not like total mainstream.
No,
like,
they wouldn't have been selling.
They would have fared
records,
way better. They would have fared way better.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But yeah, it's just that again, a lot of this shit's the timing.
Yes,
the timing.
And being clumped in with the Poisons, the Damn Yankees, the Nelsons, the Firehouses, like just being clumped in with those tricksters, bands like that,
Yeah,
that hurts too.
And again, that's the thing where you have the hair metal umbrella where it fits so many different styles and types of metal, I guess you can say, where it was like it was all over the place.
Right.
And you're right. A person that's into a 13-year-old girl into Poison is not necessarily going to be head over heels for Spread Eagle. Just the name alone. Just that name alone is going to give you a little tough. Oh, coming in at number 3 on this week's Hot 100 charts, Spread Eagle.
What's that mean? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. But
Good shit though. That's what well, I think that's some of the charm though to this.
I agree.
So to sleaze metal, you know. So I mean, I'm glad it's not forgotten about because we're still preaching it. But
and there's still some bands doing it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some new bands doing it too, where it's like, oh shit, all right, we're still doing this.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, I'm quite happy to do this list here with you and just to keep spreading the word of Sleaze, you know.
Yeah, and part 2 will be on your channel. So definitely check that out as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, why don't you tell the folks one last time where we can find you?
Yeah, you guys can find me over at the Krash Kourse Metal Show. You can find me on X. You can find me on Facebook as well. But yeah, I mean, you can hop over. Right now, we're going to be premiering probably part 1 and part 2 within the same hour on each of our channels here. So go over and find some more Sleaze Metal Masterpiece songs, anthems, you know, and to find out what Sleaze is all about. But Brian, my man, thank you so much for having me on. This has been great.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah, you open door anytime, dude. You've had me on your show numerous times. It's always a blast. So now that the basement's finally furnished and done, I can have people over.
Now it doesn't have that musty smell, right?
No, it does, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad as it used to be. That's what gives it its charm.
The vape pens are, overcasting it.
Exactly. All right. Well, let me go through my usual YouTube shit. Like, subscribe, share, all that crap. If you got any bands that we forgot, some that you like that we didn't put on our list, put it in the comments. You know, it helps the channel, all that shit. And until the next time, keep your hair high and your metal horns even higher. Take care.
Wow. That was the sleaziest thing I've ever heard. I respect that.
Brian, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know, really.